Ahoy there, ain't there, the Captain here. Welcome to another edition of Captain's Arcade. Now, we're going to be playing a game that's very near and dear to my heart. It's an arcade game. We're playing it through the roller rink throughout the years, and particularly through the 90s. I'm talking about the one, the only, WWF Superstars. Now, before we get started, I just want to show you a little something here. In case you weren't aware of this. But let me fix something here. Yeah, just want to show you this shirt here. WWF WrestleFest, right, excuse me. Features all the playable superstars of WWF WrestleFest, which is the sequel to WWF Superstars. As all the playable characters, including the final bosses, the Legion of Doom, aka the Road Warriors. I found it on Etsy one day, and it came all the way across the pond, which is the name of the user was 2-Bit T-Shirts, and I just want to send a big special shout out to 2-Bit T-Shirts for this amazing shirt over here. He also has one for WWF Superstars, and I'm considering picking that one up one of these days, but we'll just have to see how things go from there. But like I said, WWF WrestleFest will now forever hold a very dear place in my heart, and I want to send a big special shout out, big special kudos to RetroSoft for Retromania Wrestling, which is the direct sequel to WWF Superstars. Now, of course, we had the unsuccessful WWE WrestleFest, which was played on basically an Android, but lived nowhere near up to the hype. Not by a long shot. But with that being said, let's get it started. Let's get it started. Alright, let me adjust the camera here. This may take a while here for me to complete the game, but still, it's all about having fun. Like I said, the great thing about this console, unlimited continues. Let's play with Hulk Hogan and Hacksaw. Ho, Jim Duggan. This game here is all about tag team wrestling, playa, holla, holla, holla. Makes me think that Teddy Long was behind this. And I'm playing it the old school way, how it's meant to be played. The old arcade stick. Stop in midair. But yeah, I remember playing this back in the 90s at the roller rink. Brings back a whole lot of great memories. Superstars and WrestleFest were literally right next to each other in the arcade, in terms of the arcade cabinets where the arcades were. At that point, I was a wrestling fan. I was watching the Monday Night Wars. Monday Night Wars were a huge deal in terms of wrestling. It'll now forevermore hold a very dear place in my heart. And I didn't notice this until I saw WrestleFest and Superstars, that some of the superstars featured here were eventually jumped ship to WCW, which is their primary rival company. Get off me, Warrior! I'll try to finish him off here. Uh-oh. And you know what the ironic part is? Not ironic, you know what the strange part is? You know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, if you've been watching wrestling as long as I have, you'll know that his finishing maneuvers, Hacksaw Jim Duggan's finishing maneuvers, are the 3-point stance and the knee drop, which unfortunately are not featured in this very video game. Why this happened, I don't know. What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do? I met both Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Hacksaw Jim Duggan himself and Hulk Hogan's daughter Brooke. Both of them were class acts, and Brooke was just a sweetheart. That was easy. I was back at WrestleCade 2019. I've been wanting to meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan for quite some time. But after a couple of failed attempts, I had my golden opportunity of meeting Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He was on my bucket list for the longest time. There was something about Hacksaw Jim Duggan that really stood out to me. I don't know if it was his patriotism or how over he was. But he was one of my go-to superstars in this video game. That and Hulk Hogan. And Boss Man. War goes clothesline on. It's got the gorilla press. Tag out. Uh-oh. But yeah, Hacksaw was a class act. 100% pure class act. He and Jake the Snake Roberts were there that year. WrestleCade 2019. Snake was doing stand-up comedy, one-man show basically. And unfortunately, Snake couldn't make it, so Hacksaw Jim Duggan had to fill in for him. And so that's one of the many reasons why he's a huge class act. He was a huge class act. Always has been, always will. The only time Hacksaw turned heel was when he was with Team Canada in the later days of WCW.
No one can beat Mega Bucks.
I'll put you to sleep with my $1 million dream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get it on.
You think your health would replenish on after each round, but still, it's basically survival mode. You know, like fighting games have like survival mode where you got to complete the mission with the allotted health. Health doesn't replenish. I never reached this far in real life when I had a truckload of quarters to spend. So I did some practice runs here with this very console that I have. It's all about laying the groundwork and just hitting him with striker moves as much as possible in terms of Andre the Giant. And just work around it as much as can. Irish whip. Yeah, Andre's real difficult here. What kind of tag is that? Also met Ted DiBiase. He too was a class act. Being the pastor that he is. And I never withstood the irony over here. His TV character is nothing like his real life persona. His real life persona is a pastor. You know what they say? Old Bible saying is, the love of money is the root of all evil. It's gonna tag out. Backdrop. Yeah, DiBiase's a real technician. Suplex. And a $1 million fist drop. Oh. Oh. Nope. Oh. I reversed the reverse. Interesting strategy. If this were a real life arcade, I'd spend like at least $20 on this game. $20 worth of quarters. What was it? Slap me halfway across the ring. Looks like striking moves are the is the best trick. What you gonna do, Andre? Speak to me in English when you talk to me, brother. As far as I'm concerned, it's not signed in ink. It's signed in blood. It's signed in blood, brother. But yeah, I probably spent 20 bucks worth of quarters on this machine. I didn't think I'd do it, but I did it. Kick out on one after all that. Go ahead, tag out. I work better with DiBiase anyway. Won the tag team championship. Hail to the new champions, DiBiase. This is a nightmare.
I'm pleased to present you with this championship belt.
Oh, the lovely Miss Elizabeth. Sure wish you were here right now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now we're live in Tokyo.
time to get it on.
You think that they have the courtesy to replenish your health here, but unfortunately that's not the case. It's all survival mode. It's all about survival. The Ultimate Warrior! But yeah, Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior. Easily one of my top 5 favorite WrestleMania main events. Two good guys squaring off against each other. Man. Timer drop. But yeah, I remember Saturday afternoons going to the roller rink, skating around, without caring the world. Just playing WWF WrestleFest and WWF Superstars. And save up on money, on lunch money. Saving up quarters. Honky tonk, man. I'm cool. I'm cocky. I'm bad. Pegasus beside me. Curls in the back. Don't ride around my pink Cadillac. I'm just a honky tonk man. He's a honky tonk man. Kick out on one. I never reached this far in the game, but I think they're a whole lot tougher than they were the first go around. Hulk Hogan! Got him. Go for the next bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get it on.
This time Ted DiBiase plays as an opponent on the prelims. Everybody has a price. Tagging Boss Man. I didn't pay too much attention to this, but until one of my boys brought it up. Yeah, one of my boys got same console as I do, except he got a Ninja Turtles decal. In fact, it's one of, if not his all-time favorite movie is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret Reviews, and in fact, the movie came out on his 8th birthday, and so every year he gets to watch the movie within that 24-hour window and just chow down on some pizza and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret Reviews. But he brought up a really valid point regarding Big Boss Man, particularly around this time period. Yeah, you know that this is his actual ring attire. What you're seeing on the screen is his actual ring attire. Well, every now and then, especially when he goes into beast mode, his shirt becomes messed up. It comes unbuttoned and untucked, and it's pretty much almost off at that point. And he keeps asking himself, why he might as well go ahead and take off the entire shirt if it's not going to stay on properly. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. What's the point of even having it on if like mid-match it's going to be all messed up? Oh, all messed up, you know? But then again, that's part of his gimmick for you. One of the most notable times that it's happened was, Bossman once said so himself that his all-time favorite match that he's ever been a part of was that cage match against Hulk Hogan. So that's a prime example of him going in beast mode and his shirt almost all the way off. Get to deal with DiBiase now. Another notable time I can think of was WrestleMania 7, where he squared off against Mr. Perfect for the IC Championship. Man, this DiBiase is going to be tougher than I thought. Back body drop. Oh, missed the fist drop. Goes over the top rope. Headbutt. Get up. I think he's gonna fish me off right here. Or is he? At least I got him. think I got one more match before I square off against the champions.
Gentlemen, it's time to get it on.
Oh yeah! Dig it. Nothing I gotta agree, my boy. Oh, come on. Connect. Connect. Now I square off against Honky. One thing I agree with is that he definitely was insecure. Especially with the way that he treated Miss Elizabeth in the ring. On stage and off stage. It wasn't really a match made in heaven, but we're not really a match made in heaven. It just goes to show that things aren't what you think they really are until you see what goes on behind closed doors. Then again, we can't control what others do behind closed doors. You know? As beautiful as Miss Elizabeth was, you know? Misses the leg drop. Suplexes me. Oh yeah. Oh. But in terms of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, I like the way that he came out with the Washington Post theme. The Washington Post march from John Philip Sousa. You know, a song that goes back in old WCW days. It would be a huge pop for me. It would be a huge mark out for me. He was so over, it wasn't even funny. And he was the final WCW TV champion, if I remember correctly. I think this one's the main event. The final boss.
They are declaring themselves challengers to your World Championship belt.
No one can beat Mega Bucks.
And I'm assuming this is going to be tougher than
With my $1 million dream.
the last time around.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time
But
to
here I
get
go.
on.
Hit me with the knee. I don't lost track of how much money I spent in quarters at this point. Oh. Get you out. That iconic laugh. Tag out. Uh-oh. What kind of tag is that? Basically, if you get in the ring of Andre, it's basically over unless you know exactly what you're doing, what you're trying to get yourself into. I think it's all about laying the groundwork here, as I said before. Yeah, just like that. If you want me to speak in English, I will do so in the ring. I will speak English in the ring. Au revoir. No more rhyming, I mean it. Anybody want a peanut? But yeah. But yeah, outside the ring, Andre was nothing more, nothing less than a class act, and he was a gentle giant, and Fred Savage, star of The Princess Bride, saw firsthand, because he would give him holiday cards until his passing. He would give Fred Savage holiday cards until his passing. So that's how big of a gentle giant that he is. Just goes to show that not all giants are mean. Jolly French giant. Did you know that he had a ranch? Being the farm boy that he was, did you once know when he migrated over to the States? He had a ranch in North Carolina. North Carolina, come on and raise up. And his ashes were scattered all throughout the farm, all throughout said North Carolina farm. So that was very nice of his family to make a decision to do that. As much as I love going back to WrestleMania 3 for a bit, as much as I love Andre, as iconic as Andre and Hulk Hogan was, I gotta give the edge to Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, because they coordinated it to perfection there, and they even had flashcards. They would even quiz each other, going over spot by spot by spot. I mean, that's how serious that they took that match. I saw in that documentary, biography WWE Legends, that Macho Man had trouble capitalizing on that match, because that was one of, we can arguably say that this was we could basically, for the most part, agree that that was his best match of all time, and he failed to, and in his opinion, he failed to capitalize on that from that match, and he never had a good match again, and he was really frustrated as far as that's concerned. Yeah, go ahead, tag out. I do much better with DiBiase anyway. I don't know what kind of tag was that, but still, at least he tagged out. At least I gave Tango with DiBiase some more. What you gonna do, brother? Now gotta go with Andre. I'd like to sign that contract. You think I've taught you everything there is to know about wrestling, but I don't. And believe me, WrestleMania 3 will be your last lesson. That Ultimate Pro leading up to their big match at WrestleMania 3, so iconic. I done lost my rhythm. Just like on last night's game of Parappa the Rapper. This guy's tough. Slap. Halfway across the ring. If we're mega bucks, then we must be the whammies to them. Kick out on one. I lost track how much money I spent if this were an actual arcade cabinet. And the one wonderful thing about this console, other than the unlimited coins, there's no coins needed, is that Arcade 1-Up, as much as I'd love to replicate the great arcades of our childhood, This console here saves us a lot of space here. All I gotta do with this console is plug and play. Oh, go ahead, tag out. I don't care. Now we can go back to real wrestling. Now it's back to Andre. My timing's off. Chop down the tree. You probably might as well go ahead and spend all your money on this, all your hard-earned money on this, if you want to beat this game, because this is no stroll in the park without the proper strategy. Kick me all the way across. I wonder if this happens in any wrestling event where someone punches you so hard that you hurl all the way halfway across the ring. 3. I win. Whew. My hands are tired.
I'm pleased to present you with this championship belt.
The always lovely Miss Elizabeth. Beep, 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 beep. That's all, folks. At least I didn't give up. As tough as this was. Like I said, I spent all my hard-earned money, like at least $20 worth of quarters in order for me to beat this game, but still, really fun to play. You too can be called a superstar. Yeah. You basically earned your right to become a superstar. The end. No question mark. Of course, if there were a question mark, there would be the sequel, WWF WrestleFest. Well, that's going to have to do it for this edition here on Captain's Arcade. Hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend, and hope we can. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing each other again real soon. In fact, we're definitely going to be seeing each other again real soon. In fact, WWF WrestleFest is next on my lineup as I'm planning, but with a schedule like this, you probably never know. Probably never know what I'm going to be pulling out of my sleeve here, out of my bag of tricks. Alright, we must bid adieu. Till we meet again next weekend, maybe say goodbye.